I finga un down, mau katakan jika berasal dengan topik tersebut.
I have as my guest today, I have Officer Mitzner and the wonderful Ms. Vicki Simpson. And a lot of you might have seen on Thursday Pine Street being shut down, and that was because they did their every 15-minute program, which is usually an every other year program, but because of COVID, we got delayed 4 years.
We did.
But we were back, and I did do some homework on when the program started. I looked it up because we were talking about that, and I found out that a lady named Melody Davidson in Chico did the every 15 minutes program, the first one ever in 1995, and then when they followed it up in 96, it actually got written up in September of 96 in the Los Angeles Times. When did every 15 minutes come to Bishop?
About 2003, I got a VHS tape. That's from the old days.
Yeah, I remember those. We have a collection in the office. But
Yeah. Oh, do you?
yeah, all the great movies.
And Beta? No, you're not that old.
I am that.
Okay, you're that old. So I got a tape from my brother-in-law, who was principal back then of Simi Valley High School.
Okay.
Could have been Royal High. Sends me a tape, and he said, "Have you ever seen Every 15 Minutes?" I had no idea what it was. Popped it into the VCR and watched it and loved it. So
How long was that one? You remember how long that up?
15 minutes.
Was it 15 minutes?
Back in, yeah. Back
We
in
were
those
darn
days.
close this time.
We were, unlike 4 years ago, but we won't talk about that.
That one. Anyway, going on with the program. You brought it here. You got to be.
Brought it here, went to Bishop High. In the scope of my job, I worked for juvenile probation then,
Right.
and went to Bishop High, told them there was this really great program, and I think we should do it. What do you think? And it kind of started there, and it was successful, turned out good, positive feedback from the community, the kids, everyone. And what is this, 2023? And it is still being done.
It's a great program.
It is.
How did you get involved?
Well, I got involved. Vicky kind of drugged me into it a little bit. Long story short, but
Drugged you or drugged you?
maybe both.
Physically.
But
Both.
no, a few years back, I started the senior volunteer program at the California Highway Patrol area office in Bishop, and I knew Vicky was heavily involved in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Convinced her to come on board, and then just this year, I became the Bishop Area Public Information Officer.
Congratulations.
And
Is that a congratulation?
that's that. Yeah, that's a congratulations.
Okay.
I enjoy.
You just never know when you get a job whether that's a congratulations or not.
No, I enjoy it, but
You're the boss. Oh no.
yeah, knowing Vicky's been involved in this program for so long. I graduated. I'm gonna age you a bit here.
Go ahead.
So
Nothing about dinosaurs.
I graduated with her son. Her son was actually one of my good friends, and one of the first events that Vicky put on at Bishop Union High School was right around the time that her son and I were getting ready to graduate. So I knew she was heavily involved in the community, and I wanted to. She was preparing to retire when I hit her up, and I kind of duped her into coming on board with the senior volunteers at the Highway Patrol. And in return, when I became PIO, she made it possible for me to start helping out with this program, and yeah.
So how did you feel about it? Today was our red carpet premiere.
Well, I'd been at
We had the letters. We had speakers. It was
I felt it was great. Not to toot the California Highway Patrol's horn, but I think Lieutenant Mike Ritter did an amazing job with his speech. The film turned out fantastic. I was in it, so I'm a little biased,
yeah.
But
That's okay.
You did good too. That strut there.
yeah, thank you. That's about all I got going for me. But no, I thought it was fantastic. I've always really enjoyed the program. My first opportunity to be involved with it was I think 2014, and then 2019 again in 2019. I strongly believe in the program, and the kids are great. I think it makes a difference. So
I think so too. I really do. And there was quite a few kids that there was one, and I won't mention, but they were part of another part of the program. Couldn't even get up to go and do their part because of the impact that the letters and the the speeches and the video had played, that person was still sobbing.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice to see when you have kids, especially your teens. Everything's kind of a joke to you, but you can tell that things hit home and make a little bit of a difference when you have kids of, 16, 17, 18 years old, actually getting some emotion out of them as an accomplishment in itself. So
that first letter that was read,
was a killer.
oh yeah,
That was good.
I was in tears. That was just very impactful, and I think that the next time in 2 years, because I'm sure you'll still be around with us, I think we should film what goes on inside and make that available, because so people really, if that's legally allowed, that's a lot of the program that
Behind the scenes.
people aren't seeing.
Yeah.
They just see the video that we put up, and they'll probably enjoy it to some degree, but they don't see the impact of all the other pieces of the program.
yeah, it's deep. Just my first year being involved with it, I had shown up and helped out with the video a couple times until working with Vicky and the other senior volunteers. The amount of work that goes into making this program happen and pulling it off blew my mind. The last 2 weeks, I'm minimally involved when it came to a lot of things, but my head was about ready to pop after 2 weeks of trying to make things happen. So I don't know how Vicky and
George from probation.
George from Inyo County Probation.
Huge.
Yeah.
And he did steal part of your limelight. And that one.
That was good.
When you watch the crash sequence at the end, I have Officer Mitzner and the rest of her deputies behind him. I'm like, epic shot. We're gonna use this, and I see George walking off in the corner.
That's all right.
I call him my photo.
He deserved it because it couldn't happen without him.
No, it couldn't have. Now, and watching it today on the big screen, it was great.
That's perfect. It was perfect.
So thank you, George. We need your autograph.
Awesome. Heck yeah. And if you do charge.
I think I hear somebody behind the camera actually playing the every 15 minutes and shouldn't be doing that, but that's our cameraman, Jimmy. Hey, let's talk about this year. So you and I usually start talking around November and then start panicking in December.
Yeah.
We get a cast in the January. And we have this whole story that you and I sit down and we 3x5 card it. This year, we decided this is in somewhat a sequel.
It is.
And what you said, we were laughing about the first one. If you watch the first one that we did with Vicky Laughing Parrot, that is, it was about 29 minutes long, and we felt that every scene needed to be there. I mean, if I were to do director's cut, I'd cut it down now at this point, but at that time period, Sierra Life Fly was like all around, and I just was like, I don't want to waste this footage, and we put it all in, but we did that again with Sierra Life Fly. We'd talk about that in a second, but we did this as a sequel to that one.
We did.
Larissa's sister dies in that one, and we have Larissa coming back, and it opens with the dream sequence.
Right.
And that was your idea.
That wasn't it?
Or
was it?
All right.
That was mine.
Okay.
No. Actually, it was because it's been 4 years. We didn't do it during COVID.
Right.
And so we
kind of.
I'm older. So we kind of thought, you know what? Let's take a spin-off and let people see from 4 years ago in case they forgot what happened. And to be honest, how many YouTubes have we watched in high schools? Nobody's ever done sequels like that.
No one has.
Now they were.
I seen anybody
Now they
an airplane.
No, we are the only ones. Sierra
Life Flight.
Oh, this is the second time that they.
So we did a dream sequence, and then Arnie comes in just to give you a little bit of a talk on it. Arnie Palu comes in and basically has a discussion because she's sleeping in class. She wakes up after this dream sequence. Blah blah blah. We see her at the locker drinking, and then the story kicks off. Then we go into our party scene. That was fun. That was a kick film. That really worked out well. But day of the crash.
Always dramatic.
So you have in your head what all these shots are going to be, but the one cool thing about technology is it never quite goes the way you want it to. And we had these epic shots set up for you that were going to be off the bottom of the CHP car. Camera was great. I get it back. It's pictures, not video. Go to the side one. That's okay. We got the side one. Go to side one. Corrupted. It was the GoPro 7. Never buy a GoPro 7. Skip that generation. That was good. Go to the back one. It worked. But who needs it?
Yeah.
So yesterday, you're talking about your head wanting to pop off. I went into a spin, a tizzy, and I kept you out of it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I called my wife from outside, and then I looked around and realized I was on Main Street, and thank God no one was around. Had my little meltdown, came back to it, and went, okay, how am I going to edit this? And you know what? It's all about the footage. But you see things when you're a filmmaker in your head, it's going to be a certain way. And then when that gets railroaded,
Heartbreaking.
and it's just like, but that's been that's the nature of every 15 minutes. You've got to be flexible. Like, remember, we were going to do like a drinking sequence when she wakes up in the morning. We scratched that. We were going to do a hospital scene. It was going to be epic, different camera shots from this angle to this angle with the gurney going through. And because of casting problems for that day, we couldn't get to the hospital. That was going to be April 1st. Nothing with the hospital was a casting issue. But we were able to have Sierra Lifelight, Mike Patterson, and Lisa stepped in and were like, yes, we can do this. And like within 2 days, we were filming up in the air without all those scenes. And then thanks to the hospital, they let us back in to at least get the notification part where the doctor comes out. But I mean, they were busy. Even the day that we went in there to go get that one shot, we were almost at the point. We literally walked over and just said, hey, can we borrow a lab coat and put on Jimmy? He can play the doctor. We really don't need much. They were getting ready to lifelight somebody out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real stuff.
This is real.
Obviously, we made a movie. It's a prevention film, but this stuff really happens on a daily basis for these people. And you're out there in the field. You see all the drinking and the driving. As we were talking previously, without going into too much, that you can't. There's obviously a huge problem with marijuana and driving these days. And it doesn't matter what substance you put in your body. It's not about drinking and driving. It's about
Driving under the influence.
driving under the influence. Yeah, thank you. I was having word problems.
It's okay. That's the story I like.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
I was just getting
Make sure you're okay.
caught up. It's a little warm in here
It's okay.
between two wonderful people, and I'm starting to blush. Oh, so anything else you want to add about the program or where we're at?
There is something that people need to know that you wouldn't know unless you were there and involved in it.
Okay.
Is that I don't think I have ever seen one of these programs we've done where the kids go beforehand and at the retreat. I'm not going to read my letter. Part of the program, after the car crash, they all go up to the retreat. They go up to Tom's place. We have lodging for them, food, chaperones, everything. Part of the program is you have to write a letter to your parent. And it starts off, Dear Mom and Dad, today I died. I'm sorry I never got to blah, blah, blah. And they have to fill it in. Part of the program is you write your letter at the retreat, and then we ask and say, now, we need some of you that will volunteer the next day at the assembly to read your letter. And I'm telling you, all the way back to 2003, the kids, I'm not reading my letter. No way. And the crew last night, the chaperones, they said, okay, Vic, we got 7 people that want to read their letters. Wow. Never have we not had an assembly where we go, oh, great, we have nobody reading their letter. They don't want to in the beginning. What happens to them at that retreat is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of team building things going on, activities, and it goes through. And you got kids that maybe, because every 15 minutes, it's so important when you pick your cast. You are picking from different core groups because you want those kids and all those groups, all those different groups, to take that experience back to their groups so that everybody gets the message. And that's also part of the team building up at the retreat. And by the time we're done, you got kids, like it's your first every 15-minute meeting, typical. 2 kids here, 3 kids here, 2 over here. By the time you're done, they're all buddies.
Yep.
And that in Bishop, in a small town, is major. You don't have all your little clicky.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. Yeah. Oh, they totally do.
Yeah, the kids start seeing each other for who they are.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty neat.
They do.
Well, I want to thank everybody that was involved. Highway Patrol.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
It's just a wonderful day out there today, or not out there, but at the school. Anything you want to share with the community?
No, well, I just want to thank the community for allowing us to have the program, and thank Vicky for bringing it to us. At the end of the day, the community owes Vicky a lot of thanks for the impacts that she's done from my generation on all the way up till now on this community. She doesn't ever want to take any credit for anything because she's humble, but yeah, it's impressive. You know, Bishop never ceases to amaze me, having been born and raised here, the Owens Valley. We are a small community, and it seems that this program is exceptionally important because, as we all know, one thing happens here, and it truly does affect everybody because on some level we all know each other. And yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of the program. I hope we can keep it going with the leadership of we got George now and Vicky and those that have been doing it. I just hope we can do it as long as possible because I really do think it's special.
Yeah. So probation, they're involved. George is he took over your position, is that right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I moved over to the non-paid job.
Yep.
Volunteer.
Yep.
And just
My coffee.
it's
Is that what they for volunteer?
No.
totally.
Here's another thing before we get going even further. Something that the community never gets to see either is the volunteer senior program set up. Was it the Living Dead, and they would write letters?
Yep.
Tell us about that. Out there in the back, there was like these 2 displays set up, and
Oh, the pictures?
yeah,
You're talking about the memorial.
Kathy out there.
Oh, why didn't you say memorial?
Because I can't think right now. I'm coming off of finishing an every fifth.
Oh, I know.
Red carpet and all.
I know. Of which you never invited us to the festivities, but we won't go into that.
We invited you to lunch.
Jack in the Box, really?
We went to Amigos.
Oh, thanks. Memorial table. In every 15 minutes, you have a memorial because that shows the kids little by little each of the cast members of the Living Dead that get pulled out, and 2 of the CHP volunteers, Kathy and Kathleen, were in charge of setting up the memorial table. We got our flowers. They had different items from each kid that essentially dies that day. They have that all displayed. And then when Officer Mitchell goes into the classroom, in theory, pulling out these kids for Living Dead, we post their picture on a board so that when kids are out of class and they're walking by this memorial table, they see these kids' pictures. They know it's a program, but it's just supposed to be that annoying reminder.
Do you do each time that, because this is part of the program?
Yeah.
I see it going on, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I never have a time. And yesterday I took time to go back. Have they always done the write the letters part?
Well, when you're talking about
He said that. Well, they had this little box and they would write.
Oh,
On the memorial, they'd write.
Oh, okay.
Said
No.
a lot of people came up and a lot of kids came up and actually participated.
Okay.
this year.
You're talking about memory cards.
Okay.
That's why you're messing me up. Jason, you are doing this. Okay. The 2 senior volunteers, Kathy and Kathleen,
Yes.
Kathy Barron and Kathleen Carmichael, had this idea, and they said, "Hey, Vic, do you think we've seen this done before? What if
This
the
is the first
kids?"
year.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Their idea, and said, "What if we had little memory cards?" And at this point, I'm brain dead, and I go, "I do it," because I wasn't tracking that. They set up these little cards, and the beauty of it was, long story short, they could not believe the amount of students that came up and filled out a memory card, meaning here, just write a memory of one of these students or whatever, put it in the box. We thought we'd have time, which we wouldn't have, with the assembly, because we always, I'm always watching my watch, because we tell them, okay, we'll be done by this time.
Right.
The point was, we were going to try to have some of them read. And if you do that, though, you tend to lose attention of the kids. And you don't want to interfere with the letters these kids are writing to their parents that want to read. So the memory cards went up to the retreat with all the chaperones.
Okay.
and they did something up there. I went up there for a couple hours to get them settled. They know where we're staying. Tom's place knows how many for dinner and all that. And then we had the George was the chaperone, and the two counselors, Janelle and Christina, were the female chaperones. So they were overshadowed with chaperones.
The kids won't, none of the other kids will get to see these memory cards. They're just their memories now.
You know, that's a good question. That's a good question. But we can certainly follow up for part 2 next time, and we can follow, which is not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Okay. To follow up and see how these kids, felt. There's your show. There's your next show. Bring some Living Dead and cast members. We've never done this. You could be
all of that up.
You're a first.
Yep.
Can you make that happen? I mean, can you two do one last favor?
I don't know.
And make that happen next week, that we could bring those kids in?
Coffee, black. I'll be here. I'll be here.
Totally.
I just think it's really good to get, you're right, you're absolutely
We have
get
never
their perspective.
Oh, that'd be good. And we'll stay.
Maybe we could find some of those memories that could be read or something. I definitely want that first speaker, the first letter read. That was intense.
We have to figure out who that was. Was it a girl or a boy?
Yep.
Girl,
Yep.
like,
I'll have to watch the movie. Okay.
It was awesome. It was just, they all did great, but that one.
They did. They did great. But I'll follow up because the memory cards went up to the retreat. I'll ask George because I'm sure he's got them, and maybe that might be something really interesting for people to hear. Some of the students that wrote a memory of one of the kids that was deceased in the program.
Absolutely. I think
Not a bad idea.
that's
Not a bad idea.
great idea. And if we can't get it done next week, maybe the following week, but we definitely will come back with that as the parents and the kids will do that.
Yeah.
That'll be more impactful than what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you both coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It was a good time. Was there a sequel in a trilogy in our future?
A trilogy.
Potentially.
In 2 years.
We have another Simpson coming.
2 years. That's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
In 2 years.
kill one dreams, goes to jail, what happens to the other one?
And theoretically, according to the program, really fast, here's a plug for the program. And this is something that we have never done, and we can blame me. I take the rap. Do you know how many schools they say the minute every 15 minutes is done? They are meeting Monday to start planning. I'm not kidding. The next one in 2 years.
Well, we've already kind of hyped our conversation. So.
Yeah, but
We don't even wait till Monday.
No. But you know what? It doesn't work because I don't care what they say. You don't. No.
Too far.
Way too far. Yeah, for everybody.
Well, once again, thanks for coming in. Appreciate the program. Love being a part of it.
Awesome.
And the things that it does for our community and the kids. And we look forward to having the Living Dead in there.
Thank you. Yeah, that'll be amazing.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Be tremendous. Safe. See you guys.
Hey.
Hi.
I just wanted to talk with you briefly. I know you're busy, but I've noticed you just haven't been yourself lately. Is everything okay?
Truly.
Well, I've noticed that you're kind of sleeping in class. And now listen, I know you've had some hard times. I mean, I know that your sister passed away. And I know that was really hard. And everybody processes that differently. Now, you can come to me, or you can come to other people that can help, but you can't do it on your own. You can't walk this path of trying to get over your sister's death and drinking and partying. That's a cycle that can lead to some bad things. All right. Will you promise me you could do that? You promise? Okay. That would be great. Okay. You can come to me anytime. Or anyone at the school.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What problem, Mom?
Just keep bugging me.
About what?
Talking about my sister and stuff.
Oh,
Come on, it's fine.
Yeah. What are you doing later?
Yeah, I'll pick you guys up.
Yeah. We'll be together.
Okay, sounds good.
Why does it hurt me like that? I don't even know how I could have fallen for you. 'Cause you would never treat me right, yet you made it somehow. You got me, I'm addicted to you. I'm in la la la, la la la, but you were never mine. Your heart was never mine. Still I'm in la la la, la la la, loving, loving you. Don't wanna love you, somebody help me out. I'm in la la la, la la la.
You guys are drinking, you stay the night.
Somebody help me out. Why does it hurt me like that? I don't even know how I could have fallen for you. 'Cause you never treat me right, yet you made it somehow. You got me, I'm addicted to you. I'm in la la la, la la la, but you were never mine. Your heart was never mine. Still I'm in la la la, la la la, loving, loving, loving you. Don't wanna love you, somebody help me out. I'm in la la la.
And I'm on emergency recording.
Oh my God, this is a horrible accident. I was just going down Home Street, and
Where?
Home Street and Pine, over by the high school.
Okay, how many vehicles?
Oh God, it looks like there's two vehicles. It looks like it was head on. Yeah, it's all,
People are injured?
oh, that's hard to tell. Maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. There's a bunch of kids. There's two kids. One's on the front of the car, and there's another kid on the floor. Another child on the floor,
There's
on the
one
ground.
on the window and then one on the ground?
Yes, yeah. And then
Is the roadway
looks like
blocked?
other kids in the cars, inside the cars.
Okay, other kids are still inside the car. Is the roadway blocked?
Yeah, and you can't get through there. It's a head-on and stuff all over the place.
Okay, we have help on the way.
Oh God, thank you. I'll be here.
Okay.
All right, bye.